Hi, what's up, guys? My name's Danny, and people are sharing how much personal debt they have online from student loans, car loans, personal loans, all of it. Today, we're going to explore what all these stories have in common.
Lucas, I'm $100,000 in debt. You're here to watch me pay it all off. Let's go. Today's day 8, and I just called Chase, the dreaded Chase Sapphire Reserve conversation, and I learned a couple things, so I figured I should share.
I decided that it was time to take control and start getting my life together. Since then, I have lost 50 pounds. I've taken back control of my schedule by going back to the ICU and working 312s instead of 5/8s. I have started budgeting, which has helped me stop living paycheck to paycheck. I've been able to increase my credit score by over 100 points, and I've been able to save over 3 months of living expenses for my emergency fund. I told myself that once I hit that milestone, I would start aggressively paying off my debt. Which brings us here, my debt confession. I started 2025 with almost $100,000 in debt, $98,983.09 to be exact. Even though my primary goal this year has been building my emergency fund, I was able to make like the occasional extra payment here and there, bringing my current debt total to $96,266.80, meaning I've paid off about $2,800 so far this year. I've seen enough of these videos to know that you guys are going to want to know exactly how I got myself into this mess. So here is a little breakdown of my debt. I owe $1,374.97 on a Capital One credit card. I owe $4,828.72 on my son's dirt bike. I owe $14,956.59 on a personal loan that I originally took out when I was fighting for custody of my son. And since then, if I've been in a pinch, I've just kind of added onto that loan. No bueno. I owe $32,330.07 on my car loan. I know better now, but I did buy a brand new car back in 2022. And then finally, my biggest debt, I owe $42,776.45 in student loans. I am a registered nurse. I love my job. I do not regret the student loans. I wish I did not have them, but we're going to work hard on getting rid of them. So now that we are all on the same page, I would love it if you stuck around and followed me along on this journey as I aggressively pay off my almost $100,000 worth of debt. I'm really so excited to share my progress with you guys and cheer you along on your own debt-free journeys if that's something that you're going through. But if you made it all the way to the end of this video, you are my favorite and I love you the most, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.
And I am currently sitting at $25,301 with 66 cents in credit card debt. That is my own consumption, my own doing. And I also have about a $28,000, $30,000 yearly income. It's quite a tight budget, you guys, but I am determined and I am ready because this is about the third time that I've gotten on this journey. But this time is different. We have a game plan. I know exactly what to do. I've really nailed down my budget and I have been controlling my spending habits. I'm no longer running away. I don't need to take all those trips anymore. I'm no longer avoiding and spending money I don't have, which is the bare minimum that I can do at the moment, given my income, because my income is not a lot of dollars in there. However, that is the next goal that I have, is that I will increase my income, which means that I'll be able to pay off credit cards even more. And I'll keep you guys updated. It is a hard journey. I have a really good meal plan going. I, again, have a really good tight budget going. I've brought down my utilities expenses by a lot, by $300, $400, which has been wonderful. So my next goal is earning a larger income, but we're gonna do it. And hopefully by the end of 2026, imagine I pay out $25,000 on consumer debt by the end of 2026. Manifesting. to pay off. And starting from smallest to biggest, the first one is my Freedom credit card. I owe $1,500 exactly. The next one I owe on is Capital One. I owe $4,448.53. Next card is Best Buy. I owe $5,650 exactly. My fourth credit card is with Chase, and I owe $6,731.19. And last but not least, my Discover credit card. This is the one that I owe the most on, and the total balance right now is $11,159.08. That brings me to a total of $29,488.75. I started off at $31,000. I am now at $29,000. I know realistically with my 9-to-5 job, I cannot pay the $30,000 worth of credit card debt this year. But if I find other ways to make money, then it is possible. And I believe that I can do that. A lot of people wonder how somebody gets in this much debt, and it does not happen overnight. It is years of bad spending habits, only paying minimum, and just other bad financial decisions that I got myself into. I am making the decision to get myself out of this position because I am 25 years old and I do not plan to carry this debt into my 30s. I want to be a financially responsible person, so I'm taking the actions necessary to get there. If you're on a debt payoff journey like I am, follow along. Let's do this together and become debt-free this year. Years old, and I have $22,000 in credit card debt. That's really vulnerable to share. I have just under $22,000 in debt. I was 18, 19 years old. I had no idea how credit cards worked. I did not know the first thing about them, didn't even know what interest was. And I have been paying for my mistakes for a decade now. Just been piling and piling and piling up. Shame about the debt that I have just been hiding from it for so long. But I am so done pretending that it doesn't exist and not doing anything about it. So for the next 12 months, I'm going to work really, really hard and pay off as much of my debt as I possibly can. And I've decided I'm going to bring TikTok along for the journey. I've seen so many people share their journeys and stories about becoming debt-free on TikTok, and those videos have always really inspired me and educated me. So maybe me being vulnerable and sharing my journey will also do the same thing for someone else. Someone that's maybe feeling exactly like I have been feeling for a decade. Stuck, ashamed, embarrassed, overwhelmed, and maybe that could help them. And I'm all about sharing vulnerably about your struggles in order to ensure that someone else doesn't feel alone. For context, I do have a really wonderful full-time salary job. That job does allow me to pay my monthly minimum payments on my cards, which is basically just allowing me to tread water and keep me from fully going under the water head first. I also really want to be realistic about my journey. My husband and I still value being able to enjoy our lives together. We want to occasionally go out to dinner with our friends. We both love going to concerts. We want to be able to take trips and travel when we save and plan for it, obviously. We don't want to fully put our life on hold while trying to pay off this debt. We want to find a balance between paying off the debt and being responsible, but still making memories and enjoying our life. Because of that, I've decided, instead of completely cutting expenses, that I wanted to focus on increasing my income. So I got a part-time job at a local movie theater. I'll be working a few shifts a week, and every single penny that is deposited in my bank account from this job is going directly into paying towards my debt, on top of my monthly minimum payments that I'm already making. It's going to be small payments, little at a time. Not going to happen overnight. I know that. Wish I could snap my fingers and all of my mistakes be erased, but I am hopeful. So here I am. I'm 28 years old with $22,000 in credit card debt, and I am heading to my first shift at my new second part-time job at my local movie theater, hoping that I can change my future one small payment at a time. I don't know. Come along for the ride. We'll see how it goes.
After hearing all of that, one thing keeps popping up. It's a lot of debt built over time, from everyday spending to loans and interest piling up. Now let's get back to that first video of the guy who was $100,000 in debt and what he asked when you called Chase Bank?
Customer service agent. I basically was like, hi, I would like to enter a financial hardship program. What does that look like? And they were like, we don't have a financial hardship program. Really? Like, we don't have a separate team. We just have collections. And when I hear collections, I think like, you didn't pay a medical bill. Our legal team is coming after you. We'll see you in court. So I was a little alarmed by that. But I was like, okay, before we do that, my lovely TikTok followers have told me that I should downgrade from a reserved to a preferred. And she was like, no problem, we got you, let's do it. So I was like, okay, that actually was, I literally had no idea that was an option until y'all told me, so amazing, thank you for that wisdom. So that's done. I've officially downgraded. My 800 something annual fee is now $95 a year. Still more than I'd like to be paying, but significantly less than I was. That's a win. And then after we finished our conversation, I was like, sure, transfer me over to the collections team, and I learned the following. So Chase has these two separate programs, and you don't get to choose which one you get enrolled in if you enroll in any of them. You actually have to apply. So one is like this amazing plan where they freeze your card for 12 months, they lower your interest rate, you pay down as, you know, whatever, presumably your whole balance within that 12 months, and then they reinstate your card as if nothing ever happened. Can't tell you that that's exactly what I'm looking for. So I was like, awesome. And then they told me about the second one, and they were like, we close your account. You'll never open it again. Basically, you're like, we hate you, and you'll never be our customer again. And you pay the balance over 60 months, which math is hard. That's like a bunch of years. So I was like, cool. I'll let's just apply and see what happens. The guy, I have to say, was super sweet. He was like very helpful, and I'm appreciative of his customer service skills. They asked me for my monthly income. And so I have a salary at one job and I have a variable income at another job. So I figure I'll probably just give them my monthly income from my one salary job. And that way, like, maybe if I seem like slightly more poor, they'll be more inclined to help me. Now that I think about that, that actually probably wasn't the right move, because to qualify for the other one, that you'd want to have more money. But they also have no idea what my monthly expenses are. Or maybe they do, because maybe they're like running this against my credit report now that I'm thinking about it further. Again, really should have thought this through before I called. So anyways, I applied by giving them my monthly income from this one job, and they were like, all you qualify for is the 60-month like close forever we hate you plan. So I decided not to do that, because that seems like, I mean, the $2,500-ish balance is not ideal, but I can pay that eventually. It'll take me some time, but I can pay it. And what I decided with the guy, because he was so nice to me, he was like, you should call back in a couple days. It needs to be like at least 3 days, but you should call back and then give us like a better picture of your actual monthly income with both jobs, and just see like what changes. So that's what I'm going to do. But I do feel good about having gone from the reserve to the preferred, and I think I'm ready to put all my cards in a bucket of water and freeze them. If for no other reason, then I want the ritual of it. So that was my experience. Didn't exactly go the way I'd hoped, but I'm glad I did it. I learned some stuff, and yeah, one more step along the way toward becoming debt free.